Rising. Ooh, I'm doing the stretch. Absolutely, I'm doing the stretch. It's April 10th, 2025. So good to be alive. Let me tell you, 2025, good to be alive. Glad that rhymes. Yeah, I'm gonna get it. Hey, Beijing, ni hao. London, hello, top of the morning to you. Los Angeles, hey. Paris, bonjour, Lisbon, hola. Hey, and you know what? There's some stuff going on in Lisbon in June. Yeah, there's going to be an NFT event. Who is going to that? Got some peeps hollering at me, asking me if I might be out there. 10% chance I could be. So be on the lookout for Trudy. Hong Kong, hello. Sweden, hey. Toronto, good day, eh? Tokyo, konnichiwa, and we got Turkey out there. Merhaba, Turkey, merhaba. My name is Trudy Art. This is the Universe Wallet. Indexer, Explorer, Marketplace, and Inscribing. Plus, yes, plus the leaderboard tracker for the dot swap trading and copy trading bot plus UI. All on bitcoinuniverse.io. bitcoinuniverse.io. Go check it out. It is unleashing Bitcoin's full potential. Full potential. Yeah, it has potential. Making the Universe Wallet your all-in-one solution to manage all your assets in one place. You got full support for Atomicals. Hey, Atomical folks, guess what's happening tonight? Yep, dot swap is going to have they're going to have a spaces tonight, and they get pretty good crowds out to their spaces, let me tell you. So let me tell you a little bit more about that. The dot swap space tonight, yes, it is going to happen at 6:30 p.m. PST, yes, Pacific Standard Time. And it's going to be a pretty interesting space. It's going to be all on Atomicals. That's right. So come and check that out. The Universe will be there. Hey, I might even show up and rep the Universe. Let's see what happens. Okay, so we got full support for those wonderful Atomicals. BRC20s, yeah, they're getting an upgrade. We should talk about that sometime, but not today. Not today. Okay. Dust 20, my goodness. TAP, DMT, UNET, Rooms, LRC, Lambda, SRC20, SRC20, Stamp every Wednesday, SWA, baby, and more. Now, before we get started, just a helpful reminder, this is not financial advice. Please do your own research. How do you do research, by the way? Many people are, they're confused on how research is done. Peeps, you got to ask questions. That's how you research. I mean, how do you know what to research if you're not asking a question? Yeah, like, what is this? What's going on? What do I need to know about this? How's it going to help me? And I think the first question that you have to ask if you're going to get involved in anything, yeah, anything across the board, is number one, do you have? I got something for you. I got something for you. Okay. Beautiful. Beautiful. Water ready. You need water. Listen, I got to tell you, in the market, you need to stay liquid, right? Yeah, you need, if you're not liquid in the market, what happens? Well, you know, you get freezed up there. You things start to slow down. Hey, what do you think happens in the body? Okay, what do you think happens in the body? That's why the whole entire language in the financial system is based off of water metaphors. Okay, it's based on Admiral Law. Okay, one of these days I'll talk about that, or not. It'll be a rabbit hole. But listen, you need to stay liquid, so that's why I always ask if you have your water ready. And I'm going to take a sip. Next question would be, do you have a blood pressure monitor? These are serious questions, by the way. And you actually need to monitor your blood pressure, because if you don't, well, you could have need for a visit to those facilities, call hospitals, doctors. Peeps, look in the mirror, be your own doctor, be ahead of the game. Yeah, be ahead of the game. Invest daily in maybe, I don't know, at least minimum 3 glasses of fresh, clean water, nothing added in there, maybe some lime for electricity because we are electrical. And number 3, what mirror check. Yeah, I'm looking in the mirror right now. What have you done for yourself lately? You know what I want to do for myself? No joke. I need to find myself in some luxurious place ordering room service. That's the kind of gal I be. Love me some room service. Absolutely do. And let's get at it here. I got to get some stuff. Yeah, so what have you done for yourself lately? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go in the back, see if I can rustle up some people. Yeah. I'm going to go in the back chats, in the back rooms of the Discord and see if I can rustle up some people and get some folks in here for the Thursday show. And let's see how it's going to go. The Thursday show, how it's going to go. Pretty cool. Yeah, so I am going to go in the back rooms and the back chats, like I said, and get this space going. By the way, while I'm getting the space going, I mean, does DT have us going or what? What was that yesterday? All of a sudden, taking a 180, a 180, and doing a reverse on the tariffs. One wonders, okay? Yeah, is this a part of the art of the deal? Some would say not. Some would say, no, it's not a part of the art of the deal. Literally, this president has people on their toes, and nobody can guess what's going to happen next. And I think that's why you have to know who you are and how you're going to manage yourself in this market. Okay. I am trying to post this here, see if I can get 1 or 2 folks back here to come along with me on this journey, on this ride, and have the Thursday show happen. Let us see here. Bitcoin is hope. Gonna pin it to the top. Okay. And we're gonna get this in the back room here. And let's see if we can get some folks out here. Okay, so we've got that. Let's see if some folks start getting out here. But I'm gonna get this show going because we do record this and it goes out on the YouTube. By the way, yeah, go and check out the YouTube. The YouTube, if you go to at Bitcoin Universe, all one word. So at Bitcoin Universe, that is the YouTube channel. Subscribers are trickling in. Do yourself a solid, become a subscriber, like and retweet, and share it with a friend, peeps. Share it with a friend so that others can join in. Okay. Let's take a look at what our beautiful Bitcoin is doing today. Yes, let's take a look at what a beautiful Bitcoin is doing today. So Bitcoin. Okay, yes, this would be probably the mood of the people right now, which is what Bitcoin is doing. The mood of the people right now is probably mirroring Bitcoin, which it should not. You've really got to have a proper plan for your mental health here, because if you're following the price of Bitcoin, you may be up and down because we have got a lot of information that is coming out of the powers that be that's not to the norm of what we've been used to. So Bitcoin is at $79,076.23. It's down 4.23% today, and it looks like it's continuing a downward slide for now. And why would that be? Well, some CPI numbers came out. Let's take a look at that. and see if we can't get some of that information to you. The CPI data, inflation is not as high as we thought, or so they're telling us, okay? So they're telling us. You know, it actually dives. Okay, so here we go. We're going to go with the Investor Business Daily. Investor Business Daily updated this morning. The core, okay, so again, when we are using quotes, we want to give credit to Investor Business Daily. The core price index came in much cooler, yeah, than expected in March. You know, I've been saying, and I'm going to stand by this, I don't think the Fed is going to move on the rates at all, not until at least May. There was some news last night coming in that there are some sources believing that rate cut is going to be imminent. And I am kind of thinking that that's not going to be the case. And this more than likely would support what I'm saying here. Okay, so after the CPI data, S&P 500 futures remain sharply lower following yesterday's explosive rally, with President Trump 90-day reprieve on reciprocal tariffs above 10%, except for China. Yeah, except for China. Markets pulled back from the brink of instability. Now the focus turns to the impact of still significant Trump tariffs on inflation, the labor market, and outlook for Federal Reserve interest rate cuts, as well as Trump's deal with key trading partners over the next 90 days. Okay, so what do we have ahead here? Fed rate cut odds updated after CPI data. Markets are now pricing in 21% odds of rate cut. Like I said, 21%. The odds are pulling back here at the May 7 Fed meeting. Up 17%, just ahead of the report, according to the CME Group's Fed Watch tool. Odds of rate cut by June 18 meeting have climbed. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Have climbed 83.5% from 74%. For the full year, markets are on the fence between 100 basis points in the rate cuts, 51% odds, and 75% points in 49% odds. Okay. CPI, soft for bad or temporary reasons. CPI data preceded Trump's 25% tariff on auto imports, on expected 25% on pharmaceuticals. Inflation for new vehicles is expected to rev up. Absolutely. Absolutely. Which could boost the price of used vehicles. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. There's going to be a market for used vehicles. I'll tell you, it's already starting in the unfortunate thefts that are happening on used vehicles. People, securitize your vehicles. Get an alarm system, okay? Because the used vehicle market is going to start to actually be a thing, like a real thing. I'm telling you, because of the tariffs. Economists predicting the inflation impact of Trump's tariffs may not have been factoring in the slide in travel-related prices, but that's not exactly a reason for investors to be bullish, okay? S&P 500 futures are now off 1.7%, well off their lows from the CPI data, but also well below their highs after initial reflexive burst higher on the inflation surprise. Okay. Prescription drug prices tumble. Another contributor to the soft inflation data was a 2% drop in prescription drug prices, the sharpest drop on record. I wonder why. I wonder why. And you know what, peeps? I always say at the beginning of the show, do you have your water ready? Do you have your blood pressure monitor ready? We may have to be prescribing some health for ourselves. Okay, that's that's a real thing. Now, initial claims for unemployment benefits rose absolutely 4,000. Oh my goodness, to 223,000 in the week through April 5th, coming in to touch below 225,000 forecasts. Continuing jobless claims fell 43,000 to 1.85 million in the week through March 30th. Continuing claims had been trending higher, in possible sign that employers were cutting back on hiring, making it harder for the unemployed to quickly find work. However, the latest data may ease that concern for the moment. There you go. Okay. Tame services prices. Core goods prices fell 0.1%, as prices for used vehicles and trucks fell 0.7. Core services prices rose mild 0.1%, as transportation services prices, including airfares, fell 1.4%. Absolutely. Let's get on it, and let's just continue this. Airline. Let's go to the airlines now and see what's happening there. We know that they're having a bit of problems here. Let's cover it all. Okay, so we've got let's go back to the airlines here. Okay, while I'm bringing up that data, let's see here. Okay. You know what? I'm just getting some information here. Okay, let's move over to this. Yeah, I got it. Okay, perfect. Let's wrap this up. CPI inflation expectation. Economists expect the overall March consumer price index to edge up 0.1%, lowering the 12-month headline CPI inflation rate to 2.6 from 2.8%, according to the Econo Day. The core CPI, which strips out volatile food and energy prices, expected to rise 0.3% on the month, lowering 12-month core inflation rate to 3% from 3.1%, which would be the lowest since April 2021. CPI provides about 70% of the inputs based on weightings for the Fed's primary inflation rate. The core PCE, that's the price index, the PCE price index. Most of the other 30% will be reported with Friday's producer price index, including healthcare services inflation. Lately, when the CPI has run hot, the PCE inflation has remained tame, and vice versa. So markets may get the wrong initial signal from CPI data. Here is the long and the short of it. Fed cuts. Okay, so after Trump's reciprocal tariffs pause, like we said, odds that a Fed cut upcoming May 7th meeting have pulled back to 17% from as much as 50% intraday on Wednesday. According to CME Group's FedWatch tool, markets currently pricing at 74% odds of a rate cut by June 18th Fed meeting. For the full year's markets, see 75% odds, at least 75% basis points in the rate cut. S&P futures pointing down 1.8%, CPI, jobless loss claims data, etc. Why have I said etc.? Because you know what? This is actually pointing to a case of know thyself, because this is actually the first time. Yeah, this is the first time, in fact, that we the people, especially those that want to get a jump on the market through traditional financial data, I absolutely think that you have to throw that probably, oh my God, throw that in the DOP file. Yeah, the DOP file. Okay. What's DOP? Go look it up. Okay. Um, we got to put that in the DOP file. Why? Because we have somebody new in the White House that is not going to run things like the leaders of the past. The leaders of the past had a little script book, and they would basically go to that book, and they would do things based on the what the book said. Oh boy, unless you've read The Art of the Deal, which many of the detractors will say, oh, this is not the art of the deal. This guy doesn't know what he's doing. Okay, well, if he doesn't know what he's doing, then you better know what you're doing, because you're never going to know what he's doing. That's a part of the art of the deal, is to keep them guessing like oil over lay, like literally. So if you're coming in these streets, these investment streets, thinking that you can use the CPI data, I mean, I thank you. Thank you. Let's give him a shout out here again. Investors Business Daily, but all that stuff is like want, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I know. Like literally, people are trying to make decisions on want, blah, 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 blah. The only decision that you should be making is how to set yourself up so that you can actually win. The only way that you're going to win in this particular market is to know thyself. Like, are you dealing with tariffs or are you dealing with words? Now, it depends on who you are. If you ask China, it's a serious issue, people. I mean, they're being what's the word? There is a current situation happening with China. Okay. And the tariffs are real for them because it is impacting their economy for real. And they are not backing down. They're telling us they're not going to blink, but somebody's going to blink. And let's see who it is. Okay. But if you are trying to actually take all of this financial data and have this financial data make all of your decisions for your life, you're going to be in the wake. Yeah, the wake of a what? A rude awakening, because it's not going to line up. So far, none of the financial gurus have been able to keep up with the erraticness. Yeah, it's a little bit erratic of what's coming out of the current administration. There's a lot of clear messages. There's a lot of consistent messages, and then there's a lot of surprises. And that the markets don't like surprises. The markets like clear, defined financial data. And when they have those clear, defined data points, then the market is good to go and it's on its way. This is not going to happen for 2025. Okay. So if you're here in 2025 and you think you're going to take any of that information and use it like the gospel, don't bother. Okay. People, do not bother. Know thyself. Okay. So, I mean, I've talked about in past shows getting your own financial data correct. What does that mean? Do you have 24 months expenses put aside? Do you have 24 months expenses put aside? Well, ridiculous. How do you do that? Well, first of all, you got to start. You've got to start, because you're going to see more of this. More of what? More of this. What? Since January, we have been on a roller coaster of there's going to be tariffs. No, it's just tariffs are just a word. Then there's going to be tariffs. I mean, the people that are actually having to respond to these words like tariffs, they're taking these words very seriously. But DT, can I say it? Looks like he's having some fun with it. This is how he works. This is how the art of the deal works. Many are saying this is ruining relations with trading partners that have been very embedded in the whole financial system. There's a way of doing business. There's a rule set for doing business. But DT is tearing that contract up. And I'm going to be honest. I personally knew this was coming. And the reason I knew this was coming, because I actually listened to a guy named Peter Zahn. This guy's been on it, okay? Peter Zahn has been on it. He described a scenario where a time would come where the financial system would actually be torn up and rewritten, and in the favor of mostly uh, North America, specifically the United States. Okay. And I shouldn't get too much into Peter's stuff, but Peter had laid out a world map that looked very, very different than what was at the time when I was taking in his information. And he basically predicted this. Okay. He basically predicted this time. And at the time, he had mentioned that no matter which side got in, they would actually be moving in the direction where DT is currently moving. But he did mention that if, you know, DT and his style of doing things got in, that it would be at a rapid pace. If the other side had gotten in, it would have been at a very slow pace, but the same trajectory. So many would have gotten many. When I say many, I mean those countries. They would have gotten time to kind of get their ducks in a row, respond, and get ready. That's not how DT does it. So he's like a bull in a china shop. Oh God, the bull in a china shop. And literally, he's being a bull towards China. And so this was in the making, people. This was in the making. So many are upset because they're thinking, oh well, if the other administration had come in, they were going to probably do similar things. And I know some people will say that is absolutely insane. That would have never happened. Okay, whatever. That's why we, the people, have to have a rule set for how we're going to do things, because the system knows how it's going to do things, and it's about to rewrite itself and expand the money system to the digital space. And that's why I say Bitcoin is hope. That's why I say Bitcoin is hope. And so if you're like waking up this morning and you're looking at Bitcoin doing a nice, beautiful dive, you might be upset because you thought, hey, what's going on? They just said yesterday that the tariffs are 90-day paused. But I think that the tariffs are a word, people. They're a word so that the system can actually change itself and expand itself. And it's going digital. It's going digital. So are you ready? And the question of, do you have 24 months expenses put aside is going to be a real one. And I asked the question, well, how are you supposed to have 24 months expenses? Listen, I don't know who's going to hear this. I don't know if it's somebody that has all their ducks in a row and they've got, enough set aside. And I don't know if it's somebody that has nothing set aside. But wherever you're at least know this, that nothing is going to follow the path of what it was before. We are moving into times of uncertainty. And but in those uncertain times, Bitcoin is hope. I still can stand on that Bitcoin is absolutely hope. So if you've got your 24 months expenses set aside, then the next thing is, do you have a little bit set aside so that you can potentially dollar cost average into this market? Because Bitcoin is not going to remain at this level. And some think, hey, well, Bitcoin is just here to go up. That's not the only value of Bitcoin. The up is not the only value of Bitcoin. If you have tremendous wealth, well, Bitcoin is a hedge against inflation. And it's actually going to become one of the only assets that you can move quickly anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world. Do you know, in fact, okay, listen to this. Okay, if you're here, you're going to get the real sauce. Do you know that many of the wealthy, they buy yachts? Yeah, they will buy yachts. And many of us that are not familiar with why they're doing this think, oh, they're just buying these yachts and living luxurious lives. No, it's an investment strategy that allows them to move quickly if they need to. Yeah, it's an investment strategy that allows them to move their wealth quickly if they need to. Because guess what those yachts can do? They can leave. Yeah, they're floating. They can leave. And so they can pick up from, one more to another, okay? One dock to another. They can they can, if war breaks out, they can get on that and they can move and they can go. If there's something coming down the pipeline wherever they're at, that's an asset that they can quickly move. Sounds a little bit out there, but it's absolutely a part of the logic. It's not just for the sake of being luxurious. It's that it's an asset that they can literally move. Um, when you get to the point of great wealth, you're hunting for spaces and places to put your assets, and you're wanting the assets to obviously you want control over the assets, and you want the assets to have the potential to appreciate. Okay, so that's why and you want liquidity as well, so that's why real estate becomes a big deal. Artwork becomes a big deal. There's even a lot of collectors that go into collecting different wines. um, there's car collections, etc., etc. Now with Bitcoin, the wealthy have an asset that is literally in their hand that they can move at any listen, if war breaks out, they just need to grab their seed phrases and they're gone. They don't have to go to the bank, because when war breaks out, literally, the bank can freeze your assets. Absolutely, the bank can freeze your assets, and you may come to a time if things get a little bit heated. I Listen, we're all going to make it, so don't worry about that. We're all going to make it. But if things get a little heated, you could find that there will be restrictive measures on money. There could be restrictive measures on money. You may go to the bank, like some have in other parts of the world. Okay, um, Greece, and you may find that you can't take money out of the bank because they're putting a freeze on the movement of money for whatever reason. With your seed phrases, you can take that and move anywhere in the world. That's a pretty big deal. That's a pretty big deal. So when you're looking at what's happening right now, no matter what happens, I think Bitcoin is hope, because more and more people are going to understand it's not just the up, it's the fact that this literally is your yacht. Your yacht. You can move this anywhere you want. Okay? You can take this asset with you anywhere you want. So this ideal that we're going to be able to make the changes that we need to make without facing um, some uncertainty is very, very real. It's very, very real. The uncertainty is that you don't know what DT is going to do. You absolutely don't know what he's going to do in this White House. And as a result, you have got to be prepared for that. So let's look at some of the preparedness here. I had something that I wanted to share. Had something that I wanted to share. Okay, yeah, you know what? I'll share this. Um, one of the ways that you can be prepared is learn from DT himself. Okay, learn from DT himself. I actually dropped this last night. How a self help guru made DT successful. How a self help guru made DT successful. And I actually mentioned this yesterday that a part of DT's strategy is he uses words to his advantage, and he focuses on using words to build himself up. And there's many ways that you can use the strategy that he's used, but he uses it to build himself up. So he has great confidence in how he sees himself. Okay. And one of the folks that he subscribes to, I mentioned this yesterday, was Norman Vincent Peale, The Power of Positive Thinking. Profoundly influenced DT. It's contributing to his belief in self confidence and visualization for success. Peale's philosophy played a critical role in DT's business and political careers, despite objectives from Peale's family, etc., etc. Um, in fact, when he was 6 years old, his father brought him to the, I guess PG was sorry, Norman Vincent Peale was a clergy, and he was the head of a church. And DT's father, at 6 years old, brought him to the church, and he got hooked. And he, in fact, later on cultivated an interesting relationship with him. He actually threw him a birthday bash for his 90th year, I think. And some of the weddings in DT's families were actually Norman Vincent Peale actually was the officiator of some of those weddings. So he really connected with the message that Norman Vincent Peale has subscribed to, which is this whole ideal of using the power of positive thinking and the power of words. And Norman Vincent Peale is very big within the self help space. And a lot of people that are into business actually subscribe to his stuff. And that's where DT is. So when DT is coming out and saying these statements that he's doing amazing, the market is amazing, and other people are scratching their head and they're like, "What's going on?" That's a part of it. That's what's going on. Literally, that's what's going on. He is put himself in a different universe. So how do you plan for a leader like that? Okay, because some of the words that he's using, they're words for the way that he does business. And if you think this stuff is crazy, go take a look at the amount of people that are losing their sauce right now, because he's not running things the way everybody else did. He's not running things the way everybody else is. And again, what can we do about that? And I think the thing that we can do about that is we can actually take our future a little bit more serious here, and go and take a look at what we can do with the power of Bitcoin. Bitcoin literally is not worried about the laws that are being made. Even if the government were to come out at some later date, which they're not because they're too entrenched at this time, and make pronouncements against Bitcoin, Bitcoin is still, it's too embedded in the psyche of the people now. The freedom of Bitcoin is too embedded in the psyche of the people that this can ever just be deleted. There are miners all over the world, known and unknown, that literally are protecting Bitcoin because they are in charge of the network. And it's not centralized, it's completely decentralized. There are people right now, they're on a subway, they got a phone, and they are mining Bitcoin. there are people, I always use the basement analogy because it's real. They're in their basement and, maybe they're gaming or something and they're mining Bitcoin. I actually dealt with someone a little while ago. It was a service tech person, and they had come out for some services that had to be done, and they were in the let's just put it this way, they were in the tech space, and their full-time job was being a tech person. Okay. But then they just out of the blue started talking about Bitcoin and telling me how they had some, mining rigs in their garage. Okay. And they were mining Bitcoin. And the job was just for the purpose of earning an income to obviously live, but the Bitcoin was the hope that they had. And that was their retirement, was the mining rigs and the Bitcoin. And so this is just a regular individual, a 9 to 5er, and he was a miner. So when some of us think of miners, we think of, oh no, they're these big firms. No, they're people that are going to 9 to 5s. There are people that are unemployed. There are people that are in school. Like, everybody is protecting the network. And so the ideal that Bitcoin is just about the up. Bitcoin is just about, oh, it's the number go up. It's one of the benefits of having a decentralized network that is a peer-to-peer solution, that is freedom, is that the value in the minds of people starts to take root in the minds of people. And then people can literally see, okay, this is why Bitcoin is important. It's not just about the number going up. As a consequence, the number goes up. As a consequence, the number goes up. So, tariff or no tariff, Bitcoin is hope. It's absolutely right now, and it has been for a long time, but even myself, it took me a while to actually see this. I had somebody introduce Bitcoin to me many, many years ago. As I was running business, somebody came in and they were doing some work for me, and they started talking about Bitcoin. And I had been introduced to Bitcoin earlier, but I still didn't get it. And at the time, Bitcoin was 25,000, and this person wouldn't stop talking about it. And I thought, they're like not well. Like, what's wrong with them? They keep talking about this. They need to stop and just do the work. Okay. And so every move this individual made, this guy made, he would start talking about Bitcoin. And meanwhile, I'm paying him whatever I'm paying him per hour to get the job done for me. Um, I'm thinking, why aren't you focused on the task at hand here? But really, he was trying to orange pill me because he knew Bitcoin was hope, because he knew what he was doing had an expiry date to it, because everything that we're doing has an expiry date, obviously, because there comes a point where you can't take all your time and energy and be inputting it into the system. You got to pull back at some point because, that's just the nature of how it goes here. But there's new things that are happening. There's new things that are happening. And this tariff thing, that's pushing us into the future of what is about to happen. Everything is about to go digital, and everything is about to be abstracted. And we're going to see more and more of our physical world being abstracted over to the digital world. So that'll mean even the job that I had this individual doing for me, it's going to be automated. The computer tech, the software guy, that's going to be automated. Okay, that's going to be automated. But the point is, this guy, he just kept at it. He kept going at it, talking about Bitcoin, and it was at 25,000. And I didn't listen. And Bitcoin is absolutely hope. But you know what? When people are orange pilling people, they're just talking about the price. And it's not just about the price. It's about what it can actually do for you. If you're in the great, wonderful, beautiful USA, and if you feel like, you know what, it's too much, I need to pick up and go, you literally don't have to. I mean, outside of making all the other arrangements, you got your bank right in your hand. You can leave, you can go, because this Bitcoin, it has no borders. It goes with you anywhere. Like, what asset outside of a yacht can just you can just take it with you? Okay, let's say you had all your money in paintings. Well, you're gonna have to get some type of moving company. You're gonna have to make sure that those paintings are handled with care so that you can take them with you, or you're going to have to leave them with someone, leave the stuff with someone that's going to take care of the stuff for you. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Hey, I've dived down really deep into this, and so I'm gonna move on to the next thing, because I always like to kind of take some of the current events and then kind of tie it into real world stuff. That's what this whole space is about. And my vision for this space, given that I'm given the space to actually do it, my vision for this space is to get others on here that can actually jump in and speak to some of the things that I'm talking about. So they might have some information on the economy, and then we can kind of get into, okay, well, where does Bitcoin fall in? How can Bitcoin actually be a countermeasure to what's happening with the headlines? Okay, so one of the ways that I'm actually seeing how Bitcoin is also being a countermeasure is within this whole GameStop thing. I still think the GameStop thing is being underestimated and underrated here. Uh, I actually think that GameStop hasn't even gotten started yet with its opening up the door to Bitcoin on its balance sheet. I don't think that we've actually really seen the power of those two dynamics. GameStop being a very interesting story. We know that GameStop was really a company that Mr. Ryan Cohen saved, because the company was earmarked for destruction, and he looked at it and said, "Wait a second, this company's doing well. The balance sheet looks good, this and that." He got on the board and he thought, "I could turn this thing around." But again, the system had plans for it. The system had plans for it, and the plan was to chop it up and sell it off. And there's kind of a mechanism that they have when they're trying to take companies out of the system. They can actually take these companies and they bankrupt the companies. I know it sounds crazy, but then they sell it off, and it's just another way that they it's another way that they can do business. Okay, let's put it that way. Um, and so they had other plans for it. Okay, so GameStop was one of the companies that was supposed to be like, okay, let's sell it off into pieces, and if, we'll make some money doing that. But Mr. Cohen, no, he saw, hey, wait a minute, there's some nostalgia here. I love GameStop, but I have my own experience with it, and there's lots of people that love GameStop. Like, literally, it's their one-stop shop for the gaming world. Okay, and he thought, like, he did with Pets.com, he could take it online, all of that stuff, and making great headway, absolutely. And as we know, allegedly, I got to say that allegedly, the system, maybe Robinhood and some others, they pulled away the buy button. Yeah, no more buys allowed. because everybody was learning about GameStop and the opportunity that there was within the company. And not just because it was a great company, but because there were hedge funds that were in on the whole plan to basically short GameStop. And the community at large would not have it. So GameStop was on its way to the moon, but we know that they pulled that back, okay? Allegedly. So now they've been fighting for quite some time. And I don't think that the greater world is understanding how loyal these folks are and how entrenched they are in waiting out these shorts that are doing a lot of trading off market, okay? And in what they call these dark pools, et cetera, et cetera. So now with Mr. Cohen moving into Bitcoin, OMG, taking the strategy from Mr. Saylor and using that as a way to preserve GameStop's balance sheet. Wow, what is going to happen as they start buying Bitcoin? They did a raise the other day. I still have to confirm whether they bought any shares or not. Last I checked, I believe there were no shares actually bought. When I say shares, I mean of Bitcoin, units of Bitcoin. Bitcoin aren't shares, they're units. So there was no units of Bitcoin, unless I'm mistaken, that has been purchased as of yet, but the share was completed. Okay, or the raise was completed. So what's going to happen when GameStop announces that they now have Bitcoin on their balance sheet? Okay, what's going to happen? And once that happens, where is Bitcoin going to go next? When it shows the world that after years of fighting, that Bitcoin was the game changer. It was the game changer that actually broke the door open, because the shorts have the doors closed. They got their backs leaned up on the door. What's going to happen when GameStop, with the support with the support of Bitcoin, really blows this door open? That is going to be something amazing. And I think there's going to be an interesting effect here. I think those investors from GameStop, who many of them are in fact familiar with Bitcoin, but we need to see some stats on it, but may not have invested in Bitcoin. I mean, they're going to be in a position that they can invest in Bitcoin. What's going to happen when those investors roll over into Bitcoin? And not only that, what's going to happen when GameStop actually comes back with their marketplace? Because I think that's a potential opportunity that's going to happen. What's going to happen when they come back with their marketplace and they bring their marketplace to Bitcoin? Oh, this is why Bitcoin is hope, people. This is why Bitcoin is hope. And boy, I would love if I could figure out how to get some folks in here that we could talk about some of these ideas, because I think that we're too early to quit. We are too early to quit. That is a quote by Norman Vincent Peale, and he says we're too early to quit. Have you ever heard of that one? Okay, it's too early to quit. So do not give up. Do not lose hope. This whole entire system was meant to be. It was meant to come to a conclusion, but an expansion. Okay, an inclusion, but an expansion. Conclusion, but an expansion. So what are we concluding here? The money system has gotten to the point where it's about to expand itself on the rails of the digital network. The money system is not going to die. Many people think, oh, it's going to die. No, it's going to recalculate itself, and it's going to change, and it's moving on to the digital rails. And so if you're into Bitcoin, then you're ahead of the game. We literally could be here one day and see Bitcoin, because of the amount of energy that's coming towards it. Because again, it's not just about the price, but we could see Bitcoin at places where it's outside of our reach, because people are, they get it. It's finally clicked in their brain computer. Oh my God. That's why. That's why many people were headed to Bitcoin during the time of the tariffs, because this time is going to pass. This whole tariffs and all of that. Once DT gets the economy to where the system wanted it anyhow, okay, which is on the rails of the digital network, because they're gonna come out with okay, half the time I say this sounds like rabbit hole stuff. They're gonna come out with UBI, universal basic income, absolutely. And they're going to have the fiat system will be digital. Okay, so there'll be no dollars floating around. And even though we were told there would be no like CBDC or what have you, wait till they unroll it, and DT will do it. And we'll all be on the digital network. And by that time, many will see that, oh my goodness, so we're never going to pay off all of that debt that we were promised that would be paid off. The debt's never going to be paid off, just so you know. Yeah, it's because money is debt, people. The debt will never be. You see all those deficits, they're not going to be paid off. Okay, they'll pay them down to look like, but if they paid off all the debts, there would be no money, because money is debt. The dollar in your hand is a debt. It's literally a debt, and then you can cash it in for goods. And that's how it works. That's why we have to go get loans, right? Because if you want to participate in the financial system, you've got to go create more debt to go get more stuff. And that's why Bitcoin is hope, because Bitcoin is not debt. Bitcoin is 21 million. Yeah, Bitcoin is 21 million. That's why it's hope. Pretty crazy sauce what I'm saying here, but yeah, many people think that, oh yeah, money, it's gonna help, it's gonna pay off everything. No, the more money you have, the more debt you have. But what kind of debt? The 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 the, the money represents a line item on the bank's books. Okay, a line item on the bank's books. Okay, and then you take that money, and then you are just it's like it's a note, and you're cashing it in for goods. That's all you're doing. Okay, and so the debt is never going to be paid off, ever. Recalculated into something different, but never paid off. But there is hope, people. There is hope. Bitcoin will continue because of the value that it has. What value? The value of being able to be a hedge against the inflation that will happen. The inflation that will happen, Bitcoin is going to be able to absorb a lot of that and more, because those that have Bitcoin will truly have a true bank within their hand. They will be able to be the lender if they choose to be. And they won't have to borrow from the fiat system, which again will go into the digital system. Yeah, so that we're coming to the end of the show here because nobody has jumped in. Nobody's jumped in, so I just did a little hodgepodge here. I went from, my God, I went from CPI inflation, uh, China and the USA, and Peter Zahn. Look up Peter Zahn, people, because he had predicted all of this. And the fact that no matter what administration was going to come in, they would have done something similar, but it would have been more measured. DT is not about that. He has his own style. I've even talked about one of the gurus that he follows, Norman Vincent Peale, and that can explain a little bit about how he operates and why he says certain things. Because, the mainstream media, they're so baffled. They're like, why is he saying he's doing a great job? Because he literally takes that stuff seriously. Why is it so hard for people to figure out that people are just different? Okay. 90% of people behave like 90% of the people, but then there's a 10% that they just do things differently because they have figured out that the 90% are pre-programmed. So they have decided that they just want to step out of that programming and do something different. And DT is one of those sorry, sometimes I talk so fast, so I might have said something incorrect. But he is that 10%. He's 1%. So you may want to hate on him, but he is going to do whatever he's going to do, and the hate that you have is not going to stop him. So I would think about, what are you going to do for yourself before this thing gets away from you? What's this thing? This Bitcoin, because it's hope. You literally can start to educate yourself about it and get onto the hope train. And I am going to close this out, but I'm going to say, because I have not even plugged the universe yet. Oh my God. Go to Bitcoin Universe. Okay, let me go there now. BitcoinUniverse.io. Because you need to stack sats. If you're new to Bitcoin and you're like, okay, well, how do I get involved? I don't have $76,000. That's okay. Because what's so beautiful is each Bitcoin has 100 million Satoshis. And you can stack sats. One of the way that you can do that is if you want to jump in to the trading market, there's DotSwap. DotSwap has a trading bot, and the universe has the leaderboard for the trading bot. So they're doing all of the tracking. So if I look at the tracking right now, the volume since the release of this leaderboard is 8.657 BTC. How much is that? 8.657 BTC. 8.657. Oh my goodness, that's $685,000. We're headed to $1 million in volume. $1 million in volume. Absolutely. I would, man, oh man, hey, not financial advice, but if you're looking at copy trading here, there's some traders that are killing it. Yeah, killing it. Okay, address 8YRP, 100%, 112%. Okay. So there is a copy trading bot where you can copy the trades, obviously the future trades of this address. The second on the leaderboard, 98.6%. Like, what are these guys doing here? OMG. Another 98.6%. So if you're not confident within your own skills for trading, okay, because there's many ways to stack sats. But if you're not confident in your own skill sets, you can actually copy the trades here. And what's nice is the universe has created this tracker for all of the trades that are happening through dot swap. Thank God for dot swap, eh? Holy crap, we need liquidity like you would not believe. I don't know how builders are out here surviving without the liquidity, but we need the liquidity. So listen to this. Dot swap, they reposted this. They said, this is what Bitcoin DeFi can look like when integrated with dot swap liquidity solution. That is what dot swap is. It's a liquidity solution. And the partnership with the universe is unleashing the dot swap trading and copy trading bot plus UI. Absolute game changer. I think so. Okay. So that's one of the things you can do. I would be fighting. Yeah, because that's currently what I'm doing right now. I'm fighting, even myself. Like I get up and I'm like, oh my God. Can I get up another day and do that? And I'm like, yes, go and fight to stack sats. Do whatever you need to stack sats. Why? Because in the future, your future self is going to thank you. Your future self is going to come back and want to hug you. The money system is not going to die, people. If it does, the whole entire economy dies because the whole entire economy is debt. Bitcoin is hope. That's why you got to stack sats. Deficits will only increase, and they will change, and they'll call it something different. They'll call it a new thing, okay? But it's still debt. Doesn't matter. That's why I say the words. The words don't matter because you're still in debt. But you have Bitcoin, so start stacking sats. I'll give you another way that you can stack sats because I do like to plug before I end this. Runes. That trading bot was on runes. Start minting runes. Start minting runes. Go to Inscribe on bitcoinuniverse.io. Head down a rune 0. Pick yourself up a rune 0. I have a rune 0 and I've just been minting runes like crazy. Some big news actually dropped yesterday. Magic Eden, okay? Picking up Slingshot, okay? This is big news. Why? Because we're going to have more liquidity coming in. As the liquidity, water comes in, this thing is going to flow. So take a look at what Rune 0 can do for you. It's a tool that you can use to mint, and you can mint and save costs minting. So start minting runes. The other way that you can stack sats, take a look at becoming a part of the universe family and getting a wallet, naming your wallet. You go to register and go to universe names, name your wallet. That just helps you to become a part of the community. So the community can start connecting with you and helping you and supporting you, because networks are going to be really important in the future. And I believe that what the universe is doing, it's building out a network where people can start coming, like connecting with one another. This project has only been out for a year. We're still very new, but it's very ambitious. And they're accomplishing their goals bit by bit, okay? There's also domain names. You can take a look at that, .sats.btc. There is Stamp. I know some people are probably internally maybe a little bit kind of dismayed as to why Stamp Marketplace isn't here as yet, but I have repeated, and I will continue to repeat, that the universe has done everything that they can for the marketplace and are waiting for APIs from the other side of things. And it's a lot when you're in the space of building. From all the developers and all the devs, they're hard workers, they have families, they have commitments. So timelines can sometimes get extended because of all of this. So there's no APIs. So what the universe is doing is it's actually going to come up with another option. Because of Odin Fund, they've looked at what Odin Fund has done, and with the railways of ICP and Counterparty, we're going to see a stamp pump fund. So that should be coming. Okay. I'm not going to give a date on that until they release that, but they've been hinting and dropping some videos, okay, on the page. So make sure you're glued to the page there. Peeps, you can still get stamp art. I'd be getting stamp art. I think that's going to be a massive, important collectible. Okay. And keep in mind, the wealthy, they stack art. They usually do it in the physical world. They won't stop, by the way. Okay. Physical art is going to be a thing for all of time. I don't care how digital things get. Physical art is going to be, we love art. We love beauty. And the rise of collecting on the digital railways, especially of Bitcoin, because of where Bitcoin is going to go, you are going to see that rise to astronomical levels. Yesterday, minted, dropped on Netflix. Go watch it. Okay. It's an old documentary from 2023. Go watch it so that you can understand what is going to happen in the art space, because it's going to come back in a big way. It's going to be so overwhelming. You're going to be like, oh my God, I should have picked that up and that up and that up. And by the way, even though there is a potential that ordinals can be pruned, do not let that discourage you. You should still be looking at ordinals art, because the likelihood of that pruning decreases as we see that there is viability in fee collection from the miners. Okay, they're not going to bite off their hand, not yet. Okay, not yet. If they get tasty fees somewhere else outside of art, then that's when they'll come for the art. And if they do, then you got stamp. Okay, stamp art is quite immutable. So it's a digital data storage protocol, and all of the artwork, compressionism, okay, which is kind of cool. File sizes are kind of limited just due to the storage requirements for stamp art. So it even makes it more rare. But stamp art is immutable. So if they do come and scrub, they won't be able to get that. But the point is, art on Bitcoin, timestamp this. Okay? Because I don't make predictions, but I live in the future. I don't know where everybody else is living. I live in the future. I already see it. So I am stacking art. That's what I'm doing personally. This is not financial advice. And whatever I stack, I like. I don't stack stuff I don't like, okay? Because it's a part of my museum, my collection. So art gives me joy as well. And I'm joyful when that art helps me to stack more sats. So that's pretty cool. Listen, it's the end of the show. I hoped some people joined. I hope that the sauce wasn't too crazy for you. I hope some people will join in my crazy sauce, because there's a lot of portals, and I found one, and I'm in the future, and I'm hoping somebody will come and join me. Yeah, one day somebody will come in and join me, and then we can celebrate, because we know we won. We got Bitcoin. Have yourselves a great weekend. Bye. Bye.